Kilpailussa mukana Ramirent. Kotikatsomon eväät tarjoaa Kotipizza.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the third stop of the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour. We are here in Turku, Finland, for the Round 1 Front 9. This coverage is brought to you by Natural Born Disc Golfer. Thank you guys for sharing this with us here at Gatekeeper Media. And this commentary is brought to you by Parked Podcast. My name is Mitch Phillips. Joining me is Hayden Riccard. How are you?
Doing great. Excited to see these women tackle this course.
Yeah, it is definitely on the easier of the side of the two courses we've seen so far.
I agree. It's definitely opened up a little bit more and more relieving for them.
Yeah, a lot more scoring opportunities here.
Yes.
But familiar faces here, we're going to have Henna Blomroos and Eveliina Salonen. Tinja Väisänen. Excited to see her attack this course as well. And Olivia Kindstedt, sponsored by Latitude 64. It's been a great two stops so far. I'm really excited to see the differences in some of the scoring, but let's check in to the tour top 10. No surprise here, Eveliina and Henna very close, that 1-2 spot at the first two stops.
It's close. They always battle between each other. I feel like they always go back and forth, switching who's on top, who's just chasing behind. But Hayden, not far behind.
Is definitely making a charge. But let's jump into hole 1, par 5, 787 feet. First shot, you're really just going to want to throw a simple hyzer for the right-handed player, get out to that wood chips, and then you're going to try to work your way up to this green. If you go long, definitely some rollaways available. It's going to be a pitch up because making a putt from down there is nearly impossible.
It is, and getting out of the gap right there off the initial tee pad, I mean, that's the biggest thing that you want to do without any obstruction so you can get out the next gap.
Yeah, set yourself up for a positional. I mean, it's being a par 5, 700 feet uphill. Getting out of the woods is the biggest thing.
It's a tough par 5.
No doubt. Just high there for Olivia, but she does fight through to middle of the fairway, which is going to set her up to maybe be able to pitch.
It's a decent spot. It's still going to have a little bit of a low ceiling coming out of there, but she should be able to get out the next gap, hopefully, if she's got a good lane.
Yeah. Let's see how Eveliina attacks this. Going mid-range. And that is better than any of the men's coverage we watched 3 solid rounds of.
I feel like we've said that a lot.
Yeah, a lot more touch out of Eveliina consistently over these first 2 stops. Our first look at Tinja Väisänen.
What a great shot. I mean,
yeah.
A little bit to the right, but still a spot to attack the next gap.
Yeah, the mistake here is usually if you push a little bit too far right, or if you flip up and you're kicking, and I mean, you got to pitch out a 6-foot little putt.
And the height's so low, you got to watch your height as well. Mm-hmm. Don't want to kick off to the left because then you'll have another low ceiling over on that side as well.
Right.
We've seen in the men's coverage.
Yeah, and that's absolutely
4 great shots.
For sure. Being able to be on that left side is going to be an advantage for Henna, being able to open up the backhand again. Olivia just trying to probably get to the mouth here. Yeah, letting that flip and just get even through it. That's a great second shot to be able to tack up the hill.
It's still going to be blind from down there, but being able to have a good footing and clear of the gap, you can't ask for more.
Right, and you can see Tinja even being just a little bit off to the right, having to go to the patent pending stance, try to open up this line a little bit more.
Not too
great
bad.
Kick there at the end, too.
A little bit of kick roll out to the fairway.
Yeah, and seeing where Henna and Eveliina are, I mean, they're really going to be able to push up through the gap and get climbing this hill.
Yeah, going for max distance.
Huge shot there from Henna. And Eveliina just a little bit further, going to the forehand flex, trying to climb that hill. Maybe give a little bit nose up, let the disc work. Maybe a little bit lower than she expected, but if the wind is right, that can definitely carry forwards and climb the hill a lot more than the backhand.
Look more of a headwind coming back towards them than anything, so it probably pushed it down. Yeah, you can see the wind right there.
You can see it and hear it.
Haven't seen anybody over there yet.
Yeah, just a little bit too much turn. Gonna still be looking. She kind of climbed the hill, but
she might have a look if she pushed past them. But if she's in between, she might be guarded. So we'll have to find out.
Yeah, being able to see just the top of the basket here is Olivia throwing her third shot.
A little bit too much hyzer, but gets a good kick off the rock.
Yeah, she'll be pinned high, but definitely that's a scary putt to run, being on that left side. They're hoping that sat down, because if that rolls away, I mean, there's just really...
I think it did. I think it matched the grade enough that it can just sit on that other side of the hill.
Yeah, and you can see the advantage here.
Skip up and roll.
Blomroos is looking right at the basket for her third, approaching for the birdie. And she's got a tap-in birdie to start off the round.
Great approach.
And as you predicted here, Tinja.
It's hard to, when you get into, we've seen it on these courses, when you get into these obstacles and these areas off the fairway, it is hard to get back out.
Yeah, these fairways are so distinctive. And
they're dense.
Yeah, they're meticulously crafted, where if you're off at all, you're having to pitch out 6 to 15 feet
just to save a par or save bogey at best.
Yeah, and this is definitely one of the more open holes as the woods do come into play as we continue this round. So being able to dial that in and stay in the fairway early is important. Going from the rocks, Olivia.
Yeah, she was just trying to give it a half bid, put it close with a no question par. Here's Eveliina.
Yeah, she didn't roll down the hill, so going to have a look here.
Yeah. Just a little bit uphill. Just kind of even with the basket.
Oh, just off, but it's a good tester range to feel confident knowing you can hit metal from that kind of headwind, nose-up putt.
I think she definitely wanted it with a little bit more attitude into it. But taking a par on the first hole, not bad.
Yeah, and this hole playing almost a stroke and a half over par. Yeah, after that pitch out, unfortunately, Väisänen taking the sole bogey and a tap-in birdie for Henna Blomroos to start it off.
Lee birdie for the tournament this round.
Yeah, so for the first round, only birdie. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Walk us through hole 2.
Par 4, 705 feet. Got open fairway here coming down. Definitely want to get as close as you can to this bend here and then go with a sidearm forehand or a soft backhand around the OB. Yeah. You can see a lot of the players probably opt in for the backhand and end up more on the left side of the basket so the OB is not in play.
Yeah, if you kind of finish left side, you kind of open up the backhand a little more. Finish right side, open up the forehand a little more. But we saw some players maybe push too far in the out of bounds come into play if the wind is just right. But most of these being 705 feet, it's, you know, that kind of max distance hyzer and then a soft mid-range into the green. And that's perfect. She's able to kind of read the wind, put herself in the middle. Yeah. Not really making the decision for her off the drive, but being able to decide what the wind's going to do for the backhand of the forehand into the green. Olivia going more of the hyzer play there with a grace. A little bit shorter, maybe going to lay up towards the OB.
I think that's her plan. because of the distance here. It's definitely lay up.
Break it into 3 shots into the green instead of 2. Eveliina definitely not breaking this into 3 shots.
Heck no.
One of the furthest throwers on the tour.
A little bit more height and she would have got the distance. But I think she's just a little short behind Henna.
Yeah, we'll get our first look here at Tinja's distance. And that's a great pull, full flex. Good little skip there at the end.
She's smooth but also quick at the same time.
Yeah,
with
it's
her
a lot
release.
of torque there at the end. Yeah, Olivia going to the standstill, just trying to control the speed, not going too far to bring the out of bounds into play. I like that play. I mean, it's safe. It's hole 2. She's never really going to have to even cross the out of bounds. And the mistake here is to short this upshot.
It's deceiving.
But then obviously the mistake can be if you go long, you're having to putt right back at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and even after a long drive, not even bringing it into it, using that left side open there.
It's just a smart play. Don't bring it in. You won't have to worry about another stroke.
Yeah, I mean, it's hole 2 of a 3-round tournament. You know, maybe we see some more aggressive play.
She's going across.
And this is nearly running it.
And that's a common spot you'll see the players end up on that left side far back in, taking that OB out of play.
Yeah, there's that fear of if you short it, you're going to go out of bounds, but then the mistake becomes you go long, and now you're judging the out of
maybe
bounds
2
again.
putts.
Yeah. See if Henna can correct more of a spike angle here. Got to go.
I believe that is in.
Yeah, and that's exactly where you want to be. Maybe a little bit longer putt than she was hoping for, but not even having to worry about the out of bounds on the putt. Looking to try to go birdie on the first 2 holes. Good speed control, but it is short. Just catches at the very end. She's going to have to go back there where it was last in bounds. See how Olivia can be able to put it close, try to get this stress-free bogey. Going to be a little bit of a tester.
Smart play. Just lay up.
Yeah, and that's a
as
full
close as
game
you
plan.
can.
That's a game plan that you can execute no matter what the wind does. I like that a lot out of Väisänen.
And Eveliina knows she's too far out. Make it easy on the next putt.
And that's her game plan as well, though. She knows she has the distance to attack 700 feet in 2 shots. So being able to go long, never bring the out of bounds into play, have a layup par.
Just a little high, and she would have had the birdie.
Yeah, to go birdie on these first 2 holes, I mean, that's unheard of. That is a dream start. Olivia from about that 25-foot range. Catching the nub, but staying in. The unfortunate double bogey there, picking up the out-of-bounds stroke. That's the problem sometimes when you do play that more safer route. When you do make a mistake, it brings a higher score immediately because you're not in attack. You're in that safety where you've already thrown a couple shots before the out-of-bounds comes into play.
Yeah, and that distance that she was at on her second shot, I mean, that her third shot was deceiving.
For sure. Be a par here for Eveliina and Henna. Also for Tinja. Moving on to hole 3, par 3, 410 feet, out of bounds left the entire way here, and it's going to loop around the backside as well. Really not too much danger if you turn it over too much. You can find those large shrubs on the right side, but the difficulty comes with the wind. Being 410 feet, this is a max distance shot for these players. So really just going to try to flip something up, but control the distance. Maybe even chop it into 2 and just know you're going to play for par. Not many birdies probably going to be found on this hole playing very, very close to par. Yeah, to attack this distance is just a little bit out of reach.
Just barely. You'll have them try their most. I mean, you can see here, Evelina's really trying to go for it and playing with the OB left. I mean, she's the closest that we've seen, and I mean, it's still out of reach.
Yeah,
even a putt from that distance,
right.
It's kind of like, okay, well, I could possibly make this, but in the wind, you're like, better not. Just lay up, take the par, move on.
And with the wind the way it is Tinja just kind of lays it up as well. If you're going to attack this, it's got to be something overstable to not turn over too much, but it's going to be flex out of the hand, so then you bring in the overstability at the end, which can find the out of bounds.
Yep.
So it's just kind of an in-between par 3, par 4 for these players here, but just kind of get to warm up that arm even more for some of these longer par 4s on the rest of the course. And Olivia finding a similar spot here. And realizing, too, you're looking up at the basket, a little more uphill here as she kind of finds it on the right side.
Just ever so slightly.
And this is that range of height where it's really easy to throw it too short or too long so you can't really tell, but that's perfect control from her.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of the players lay up as close as they can and make it a no-brainer par.
Maybe a little bit of a half bid here, being level with the basket, hangs on the finger just a little bit. Eveliina, our last player, with a true look for birdie. I mean, this is
the furthest one.
Yeah.
She has a look, and you know she can make it because she's made highlight putts.
Oh, right height, just a little bit short. Definitely going to be coming back for that one in round 2. Yeah, good clean up in the par, and we'll see the rest of the card here with similar distance putts. And there were no birdies for the entire round in the FPO field. And it's a hole I feel like you kind of get to relax. I mean, so far, in Helsinki and Tampere, especially in Tampere, you never had a chance to take a breath. It was difficult hole after difficult hole after difficult hole. When you have a hole that's playing so true to par, not a lot in the way, it kind of gives you a second to breathe and kind of reset.
Those other 2 courses were beating you down. If you got off the fairway and you were taking a little bit of a bogey stroke or a double bogey, it just did not give up, and it just kept its grips on you.
Yeah, and hole 1 and 2 there, can get away from you really quick. Those holes playing
they can.
definitely over par.
Par 5, par 4, starting out,
right.
That is difficult.
Yeah,
but take advantage of it. Play your shots when you can and play how you want to play and move on.
Yeah. And par 4 here on hole 4, definitely one that we're going to see as players maybe attack, but definitely going to go up the middle. We saw some of the men's field go all the way over the top, be able to try to bite off as much distance as they can, but we've also seen some rollers on this hole, to really try to bite off a lot of distance, not bring those trees into play.
Yeah, I believe you're going to see probably maybe a little bit of max distance drivers or a higher speed fairway.
Yeah, you kind of deciding control or distance.
This might be just flipped up a little bit too much. Great kick, though.
I don't know. If you would have missed that tree, I think it would have been ridiculously far down the fairway, but maybe tucked in left side. Really good line there to Heiser flip up. She throws that shape so well with that kind of 8 to 10 speed. Going more of the Anheuser look. Maybe a slip out of her feet there.
We've seen other players do this as well in the men's, where it just kind of doesn't get as much turn off the tee pad, and it just ends up in that bush.
It's also, I think, it's deceiving that distance of how
much you need.
Right. And if you're throwing that faster speed disc, as Tinja does here, those trees come into play a lot quicker than you think. Maybe that disc flips up too much here, or it doesn't flip up enough by the time you reach those trees. So disking down to that 9-ish speed gives you the opportunity to shape it a little bit more. Olivia going with about a 10 to 11 speed grace here. Yeah, and that's absolutely maybe a little bit shorter than she's looking for, but really sets her up to be able to attack. And again, good footing is such a valuable currency on these courses here in Finland.
This one has a little bit better options for you
Right.
than the other two, but still you can find bad footing around.
And Tinja
just because
catching
you're
that
up in the
late
mountains.
tree, right? Gonna have a clean look to approach for par, but
Eveliina kind of
it does open
may
up
have
on
a
that left
view.
side.
Yeah, she might have a gap that she can get through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting clean through the little gap she had and be able to continue down the fairway. That's all you can really ask for. As we see Olivia going to the forehand approach here, trying to work to the right side of the basket, not be blocked off that one guardian tree.
Oh, and she knows it out of her hand.
Yeah, just a little bit too much hyzer angle.
Gonna try it again.
Yeah, and even a very odd stance here to go to the forehand. Maybe looking inside. That's a great shot there.
Yeah, she was definitely looking the inside of that to give her a better line of sight.
Yeah, her forehand is not necessarily a max distance from what we've seen previously.
more control,
in coverage.
though.
Yeah, it's definitely, but she does throw the faster disc, getting her in a good spot. That is a beautiful approach there from Tinja. The birdie look here on 4. Eveliina just trying to put this one close, walk away with the par. Maybe could give it a little bit of a run here.
Just a
No,
little short.
Yeah. It's deceiving to get past that tree.
I'm sure they've ranged them out
Mm-hmm.
to know where they, hey, this is this far. All right, then I got to push this much further for reaching the basket.
Yeah,
I'm
now
sure
we're-
that's how they play.
Right, we're getting to Henna after the perfect drive that hyzer flipped fairway. Yeah, and that's putting her in position to go 2 down through 4. Definitely a tester here for Salonen. Just high.
And she's trying to catch Henna.
I mean,
She's
only
just
one stroke. It's so early,
mean,
but
it's-
there is always that battle between them.
You can see it.
Mhm.
How hard she pushes every time.
Yeah. Just low for Olivia. That'll be a bogey again. It's Henna for birdie.
Just on circle one's edge. Just a little bit too much hyzer on that putt.
Yeah, you see the frustration in it afterwards, realizing she just kind of pushed it just a little bit left. And with her, push putt, it's pretty rare to see her miss left and right. It's usually high or low. So pretty easy thing to be able to make a correction with her putting style. Good par putt there from Tinja. Yeah, and another hole here with no birdies. These holes just playing really true to the pars that are set for them.
Playing a half stroke over par.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and just maybe a tiny bit lackluster, almost catching the nub and falling as Eveliina picks up her first bogey of the round. You can see the frustration in the body language, knowing that's one that she knows she can attack.
Yeah, she's definitely going to change up her tactic coming into round 2 for this hole.
Yeah, she went with a faster speed disc, maybe disking down, seeing the success that Henna had through the middle. That'll be a bogey as well for Kindstedt.
Agreed. like it's the hole 5, Mitch.
It's going to be a hole 5 par 3, 289 feet. One of the shorter holes on the course here. Going to be going through this gap. Mainly a forehand. If you have the backhand touch to turn it over and carry down the hill, it's a great play. But there is that one guardian tree that tends to catch. But a lot of players here end up in that short right kind of circle's edge with that distance. It's kind of that in between a fairway driver, full driver for these ladies here. So I'm interested to see maybe even a standstill to be able to hit that gap immediately off the tee.
I think this is a birdie or die hole for them, because
when you're under
a lot of
300 feet.
a lot of these holes coming up are just out of reach or way out of reach for the birdie.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to take advantage of the ones that are under 300 feet.
Yeah, when you're presented with the opportunity, definitely need to go into go mode. Let's see how Henna attacks here.
Ooh,
just
that was
barely
close.
sneaking by, but putting her just inside the circle. And that's kind of the shape of it, unless you're going to throw maybe a hyzer flip, but if you're taking an overstable disc.
We've seen those, though.
Yeah.
And they've worked out fantastic for other
That
players.
flex play. We're going to see the backhand here from Tinja. And she knew it out of her hand.
That's the mistake you can make, though.
Yeah, to attack the backhand here, really being on the tee pad, your position changes how much anhyzer if it's more of a straight shot. So backhand definitely the more difficult here with that guardian tree to let it work left. But if you give it the right height.
Yeah, we knew Eveliina was going with the forehand skip up there.
Yeah,
and
but
no skip.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a skip up here with that long
And
grass.
she's saying it as well. She's like, what? No skip?
Right. Olivia going to the forehand as well.
Just a little inside.
She has that natural, just hard hyzer release on the forehand. So maybe the correction being able to flip it up a little bit more. But she'll be able to work from there, be able to lay up for the par. Doesn't get too thick on either side of the fairway. Yeah, and Tinja here
I
having
was going to say she had to turn around so she doesn't.
Yeah, if not, she would smack that hand on the back of the tree. Checking it, yep.
And that's what standing in an uncomfortable position can do. You over rotate and then you hold onto the disc a little bit longer.
Right. That's going to be a tester as well, just kind of getting away from her with that nose up and the little bit of headwind kind of pushing as you can see these leaves starting to move. Olivia just trying to put this one close. Giving it a full run, actually. It does stay not too deep, so that low-hanging branch shouldn't come into play too much, but Eveliina here for birdie from circle's edge.
Great committed putt.
Yeah. Even, not getting the skip, but she cleans it up here. Let's go to the Coti Pizza slow-mo, Hayden.
Great putt. Great commit to it being just outside circle one. Definitely something she needed for this one to come back and get back down to under par or even.
Henna from just a little bit closer. And then after just being high left on the previous putt, she finds herself low.
Olivia here with a
Yeah, she did go a little bit
unorthodox,
too long.
trying to avoid the low ceiling.
Yeah, it's just, circle's edge. She did run it, catching that, gravel, skipping her a little bit further, but it's tough when you don't get off the tee how you want to. Oh, and bad goes to worse here for Tinja. The bogey here for Kindstedt. A double. Yeah, on a sub 300-foot hole, you get off the fairway early, and like we said before, this course they're so distinctive on the fairways you need to be on. If you're off just that little bit, the footing gets difficult, the stances get weird, and you find yourself double bogey on a 289-foot hole.
It does. It happens real quick.
Yeah, let's move on to hole 6.
Yep. It's a par 3, 358 feet. A lot of the players are going to try to reach the top of this mouth. I don't believe you'll see the players on this one go over the top, just the demanding height that you need and distance that you need to get over the top. So I believe you're going to see them go forehand through the gap or the turnover to the gap.
Yeah, it's kind of near with it when it's so dog-legged. The
and you
gap
got the
is so
wind
distinctive.
actually going the opposite way, so it's going to be really tough to keep that flight plate the right angle.
Yeah, and this is where a lot of these forehands are going to filter. Is going to be short right there. It's not too thick there. There's, what we assume is kind of a trail to go to the next tee. So, I mean, it definitely doesn't get too thick, but the backhand here kind of opens up that a little bit more.
I feel like you get more torque out of it, and you're able to get more power to push over the top if you can. But here again, you see a little bit leaking short.
Yeah, and that was the backhand. I mean, getting more of a stall shot, letting it kind of glide. And when it's finishing, it's still finishing forwards compared to the forehand wants to finish back.
Yep, it's going to fade back towards where it came from.
Yeah. See if Olivia decides to go over the top.
I think she's just trying to hit the gap and have a look at the basket. Yep,
that's a great shot.
Put it close and then go for par.
Yeah, breaking this one into a two-shot here.
It's almost max distance.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you have obstructions in the way, so you're not getting there in one. It'd be really tough. And Tinja trying to do the same. Get a look at the basket. It's going to be uphill, but she at least can see the basket from there.
That's something, let's talk about this. I mean, you see it a lot in some holes where, yes, there's a gap in front of you, but, hey, I can throw a grenade over the top. Hey, I can throw a spike hyzer over the top. I like that you're still rewarded as disc golf's growing, as discs are getting faster, as, you're able to kind of break the game, break the course design a little bit. It's kind of nice to be able to see players use the fairways given.
I agree with that to a point. But also, I mean, it's also fun to watch them break the game because it's typically an exciting shot.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay, I didn't know you could do that. And it's like, maybe that changes somebody else's gameplay.
Yeah. Or course design in the future. But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, in a hole like this, you can see
it's not meant that way. Right. It's not how they were designed, but there's always ways around it.
Yeah, we're going to see all our players here be able to tap in for par. So it really doesn't, bite it too much to be able to be short and try to go over the top. But it's just an interesting point to see in these holes where there's definitely two ways to play it. You can play it as designed, or you can play it, kind of breaking the game, if you will, going over the top. So
it's also what you're most comfortable with.
Right.
I mean, it could be the most unorthodox, which is like a grenade.
Yeah.
Typically don't see that a lot.
Right.
But that's what you're most comfortable with, and you have a higher percentage of landing there. All right, why would you not?
Yeah, let us know in the comments below how you feel about that. If you are someone who likes to see some of these pros go over the top, or you want to see the holes played how they're designed. But jumping into hole 7, par 4, 587 feet. This one definitely going to be just trying to get to this position here to make it through this second gap. The first gap, not really too big of a deal, but setting yourself up for that second shot to attack this guarded green. And we see a lot of players short on this one and be blocked off with the putt. So trying to work down the fairway, limit that left to right movement to be able to have a shot looking into the green. If you can see the basket standing at your second shot, you've definitely done well off the tee.
And Eveliina going big on this one, and
that's perfect.
Putting herself in the best spot possible.
Yeah, if you can see through those two trees, have a vision to the basket, I mean, can't ask for any more off the tee. Hear the wind picking up too, this kind of left to right tailwind. Make those discs fade just a little bit more.
Maybe trying to crash it into there is Henna. And getting a little bit more distance. Holy smokes.
Almost bringing that gap not even in play.
Yeah. That is a great drive from her.
See if Olivia can match with two drives before her, just really setting the standard. A little bit of a lower line. Yeah, just needs to be a little bit more direct, a little bit more velocity moving forwards. She's going to be in that spot where you kind of have to lay up to the gap. Yeah, and Tinja kind of in the in-between
Just a
zone.
little pinched.
Yeah.
She has somewhat of a window.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you get there, throwing more of the hyzer shot off the tee compared to the flip up to kind of work forwards, but still being in a good position as we expected here. Olivia just laying up to this gap, being able to approach for par.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of a window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and definitely to be able to attack the green there, she's had to push it so close to that left side, flip up and continue, where if she was, about 10 feet to the right, maybe not even that much, it's a straight shot. But when you're pinched off on that left side, you play more of a hyzer off the tee, that gap gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah, you got to play real close to that one tree.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get through there as best as you can, just a little bit left, too much hyzer.
That's where a lot of the approaches end up filtering to. Yeah, and similar result here, just catching that last tree.
Still have a look, though.
Yeah, it's definitely, you see a lot of players throw more of the overstable shot into this green because the right side is definitely worse than the left, as Olivia just holds on just a touch too long. And Tinja just in a
I think she's just going to have
spot.
to pitch out or do an overhand to get as much distance out.
Any kind of forward movement, yeah.
Yeah.
Setting up that next shot. And those trees helping her slow that disc down, push it down. Can have an
I
easy
believe
putt
that
there.
helped her a lot.
For sure.
We've seen that rock.
Yeah, that rock comes into play more than you think it would.
A lot. It's actually a stump. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can see it now. It is a actual stump in a rock.
Yeah, we don't want to insult them out here. Pretty good run here from Eveliina, but that'll be close. It'll tap in par here on 7. Oh, from circle's edge and just low again.
She's
Having to
so
go to the
close.
straddle, yeah.
She's so close to hitting those.
Yeah, having to go to the straddle there, need to get the legs just a little bit more involved to get that height. Skipping off right there, Tinja. Just unfortunately going to be looking at a high number here. Just that little bit off, catching those last trees on the way out of the gap. Could be punishing. Yeah, after an errant drive and then catching late, getting a bogey here, that's really well done there for Olivia.
Eveliina here for her par. Cleaning up her par as well.
Yeah, and the double bogey. So unfortunate there for Väisänen.
And Henna and Eveliina, this one can definitely be reached and get a birdie on for them. They just have to put that second drive. Has to be so well crafted through that gap.
Yeah, walk us through hole 8 here.
Hole 8, par 4, 614 feet. Definitely want to avoid going right along the OB but it really doesn't come much into play unless you're doing a flip up hyzer, and then also the wind is carrying over on that side as well. So I think you got plenty of the players here just trying to get out as far as they can, end up left, and go to another second shot to get close.
Yeah, and this is a kind of deceiving distance to go past this first shrub. When a lot of discs tend to filter, just catch just past it, but that's a great spot.
Not a problem for Eveliina.
Yeah, but like you said, it's tough to bring the out of bounds in on the right side. In these later rounds, we're going to see the gallery start to build and kind of hug that right side. It's just not somewhere where discs tend to filter too much, but avoiding the shrub is so important. A little bit of a higher approach here for Henna. And that's going to put her with a little bit of a straighter shot, maybe in a forehand into the green.
And really, like you said, just avoiding that first tree outside the gap. Anywhere on the fairway is not a bad place to be because you only have one tree in your way approaching the basket.
Yeah, a little bit shorter here from Olivia, but like you said, if she can, really disc up and be able to approach the green. But, I mean, you'd be surprised. We're going to see these approaches here in a bit, but that one tree tends to catch a lot and tends to make some of these putts really awkward. A bit of a wider release for Tinja.
Maybe stuck in that tall grass?
Yeah, maybe be able to come back just a little bit. Find some good footing.
All uphill approach. Gonna have to get the angle on this one correct. But we've seen a lot of the players end up on this left side, just like this. Just because the natural way that this hole plays, it wants to lead you towards that back end of the hole.
Yep. Yeah, thankfully not too deep in the brush, being able to get a full shot here, but still just pulling right. Really good kick to continue forwards another 100 feet.
Yeah, that would have been another one standing behind brush,
Yeah.
trying to step out and then put it close.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Eveliina definitely attacking with an overstable disc, trying to get on the left side.
Ooh.
Pushing just a touch long. But you can see how that one, large, kind of double tree there really affects where you want to land on the green. It's not, hey, you just need to get inside the circle. You need to get inside the circle and be on the left side of the green. So players usually go to something more overstable, which, as you can see there, you put a little bit too much on it, it carries forward. You don't put enough on it, you filter left short. And Henna just
Great
correcting
shot.
so well. Great height to just land softly, a
roll
little bit of curl.
up to the basket.
Should be not much more than a 15-foot putt there for birdie.
And you see,
immediate regret out of the hand.
just throwing it right to the ground.
Turning around,
She's like,
laughing a little bit.
She's like, oops,
Yeah,
didn't mean to do that one.
Yeah, good spirits, though.
We've all done that.
Really good speed control,
Giving it a
almost
run.
running it, yeah.
I swear, these women give highlight putts, highlight throws, and
Yeah,
throw-ins.
the approach is no joke for the FPO field here in
Playing with the
Finland.
heartstrings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just putting it close there. Gonna be another strokes over par here for Tinja, but just going
outside
long.
circle.
Yeah, just inside, I believe. But yeah, having to go to a straddle, low ceiling. It's that one tree just forcing the approach to be different. Yeah, there's the bogey for Tinja. And Henna with a look here at birdie to go to 2 under.
I say she has this one.
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. It's such a clean 8 holes so far. There we
Great
go.
birdie.
Correcting on the putts from before. That's that distance you can find some confidence in. I mean, her approach game has been on point, but getting that putter just right and that up to down movement with her stroke is key, and she's definitely found it.
Getting the putter hot for Henna can put some numbers on the board.
Yeah, I think that's where she tends to lose a lot, but I mean, you can see Eveliina looking around
She's
the
like,
wind,
wait
really picking
a
up.
minute.
And that's going to set the tone for this back nine, and this wind is just going to continue for this round and throughout the rest of this tournament.
And Olivia cleans up her par.
Move on to the final hole here on the front nine. Par 3, 200 feet, going through the triple Mando, straight uphill. I see a lot of players throw kind of a straight to overstable mid-range, maybe even a putter, just kind of crest that hill and just skip up into the circle. But, I mean, triple Mando, pretty hard to miss this mandatory as it is such a hard hole, but that single tree
We've
in the
seen it
middle,
happen.
It is just like it pulls discs straight to it, and when you hit it with it being so uphill, things can get from bad to worse quick. Ooh, just
And
missing
she's
it.
just missing was Henna and puts it right next to the cameraman.
Yep. And there is OB long. If you do carry too far, being only 200 feet, you kind of put a little bit too much juice behind it. It can go long.
This looks parked.
Yep, hitting the rocks.
Ooh.
Kind of a weird roll, but it curls back. Good shot there with a putter. Yeah, catching just a little bit of that long
aiming
grass.
for more of the skip.
Yeah, the
up to
hyzer skip.
Hyzer skip.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and thankfully... Oh, but she still misses it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, hitting the tree past it. Go look at the drop zone here. Still leaving a little bit on there, too. I mean, that's going to be Circle's edge.
That uphill.
Yeah.
And then you're in your head, oh, I missed a Mando. Crap.
Yeah.
Now I got to put it close, and then you mess up again.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Yeah, it's a mental battle. I mean, even the shortest hole on the course, just low right there from Olivia.
Well, Tinja has played really great. She's just had some missed opportunities.
Yeah, it's just a tiny bit, but very easy things to correct
Yes.
as she's from Circle's Edge. Let's see.
Great
Really
putt.
good putt there
Yes.
to do that. And bogey's a common score here. You can miss the Mando, roll back down, or even go long and find an outside circle putt. So,
I mean, it's 0.2%
yeah.
over par.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it just catches high. Just as she had that putter kind of corrected, that's just a little bit higher than the basket there, kind of changing her stroke. Uncharacteristic miss there for Henna. Eveliina to pick up a stroke on your leader.
Good birdie to capitalize on.
And those are those putts that are formalities, but can take an advantage of them. It happens. As I say that, I mean, it's just that tiny...
Just taking your time
Yeah.
and realizing, hey, you got all the time in the world that you need.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you got 30 seconds, but
Well, yes,
it feels like forever.
It feels like forever. But, I mean, you got time to slow your pace down, really commit to the shot,
Yep.
and then make what you can.
Yeah, let's check in with our leaderboard here. Henna at -2, Eveliina -1. Another two players just a little bit off, quite a bit over par, but checking with the leaderboard. Familiar names here, Eveliina, Anna Sophia Hypus, and Olivia. I mean, all right there within striking distance, trying to make that lead card for the second round, but definitely a course that's playing a lot closer to par compared to Tampere.
Yes.
So kind of refreshing to see some green on the scorecard.
Of course.
Enjoy it.
It's always fun to see that. And, I mean, the back nine's not going to... It can get easier, but also it's the same thing as the front nine. It can be brutal.
Yeah, as the wind picks up, this is the course that has a lot of holes designed to where you need to put it close.
Yep.
So,
Looking forward to it.
yeah, we're going to see you on the back nine. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Parked Podcast, and we'll see you real soon.